Good morning, guys. Hope you guys had a crazy day yesterday. The markets, how bullish they looked in the morning, and then I mean, just took about not too long, and they made the highs, and boom, a flush, right? And here, SPY, I mean, it held these levels for the last 5 days, and then one day it breaks all those levels, goes all the way to the all-time highs, and then boom, drops all the last 5 days. So anything is possible in the markets, and if on the right side, sometimes you make a lot of money, right? On SPX, a lot of puts went up thousands and thousands of percent yesterday. Somebody, if that they caught it, SPY also puts people made a lot of money yesterday. Congrats. And so today, basically, SPY, I'm gonna go over some levels. On SPY alone, we do have 461. This low right here, which is 462.04. I'll just write these down, right? 462.04 is the first level that is a must hold. All right, that's the first level, which is a must hold on SPY. And we likely do go retest it given this price action, or maybe today we make some reversal signs and we continue higher. Who knows, right? We do have FOMC tomorrow, so a lot of uncertainty going into it. But I don't think they're going to announce anything, bearish or anything like that. I think we are fine. They've already told us what they're expecting. And Thursday we have a day off. Friday short trading. One thing that that Darsh posts in the SPX futures, and sometimes we post the spot gamma levels. LB usually posts there. Sometimes me. There are numbers that are written there, right? So let's just go over those. What exactly we're talking about. These are the futures overnight trading. These are futures. Okay, these candles will be slightly different than the SPY. Now, ES here overnight we made lows of 46.54.50, and then we recovered. So we, after the market was closed, futures are open, as you guys know, right? We went low, we recovered. We have built a small support near 46.70, which is currently also a little bit of resistance, right? But right now we're above it, and then resistance all the way towards 4700, which is the levels right here, all right, which is simply right here. If I was to draw this. Now on ES, if we do take above 4700, or if we reach 4700, at that time you can also maybe there will be a wall there. There will be some stallation because there's a lot of selling pressure above. These are the levels that you want to start following if you're trying to scalp SPY for puts or calls. They're very helpful. In very details, they're given to you guys in the premium Discord, so please do look into them. A lot of work is put into those in the mornings, right? While some of you guys sleep, we're already working back end, making these for you. All right. And so do keep an eye on that. So the first support we have is the 4670. If we do break 4670 to the downside on the ES, then we're likely going to take the lows of overnight lows and then go all the way towards roughly 4640. And if 4640 gets triggered, then we are going all the way in the coming days. We're likely going to go retest, which is 4550ish, 4530ish. Then that's coming just expected. Okay. So for now, 4670 is support. Below 4670, we have the lows of today or overnight, 5450, and underneath that we have 4640. And if we break this zone right here, then there's a bigger move to the downside near 4540. And you can collect premium up here if you want by selling calls and bear call spreads. All right, so there's one, and then we have the Qs. Tech, same thing, similar action. Right, right now nothing overnight, some recovery. But did give us a nice little toppy pattern yesterday, right? It's going to be very hard to hold above 400. Hold above 400 is going to be very hard. We might pop above it, and if we break it to the downside, then the same thing. So levels are similar. If we look at the chart technically, all the way towards 390, and then below 390, we have all the way towards 360. Well, I mean, obviously some levels in between, 380. And then we have this right here, 372. So first support is here. Maybe we come test 390 area. It could be 389, 391, and then reverse back up. And if we take out those lows, then we likely go revisit 380. And then we see what happens next. All right. So that's that for you guys. And starting with some tickers that we want to cover. Zoom. One thing I was reading on CNBC news. The U.S. is no longer considering lockdowns, even if COVID rises, right? If you guys just go on CNBC, you'll see as one of the main headlines. They're not going to go on lockdown. They said they will rely on vaccines and other medical help to keep the country open and keep going. Now, that news itself is bearish for companies like Zoom, right? And Zoom also had earnings. They did okay on their earnings, but the comments that they made, their revenue growth rate has gone down, right? So their revenues are not growing as fast as shareholders are expecting or would expect. And then many other comments, office workers that use Zoom a lot, the ones, the businesses that pay for Zoom, right? Like when we do our sessions, we pay for Zoom. Just like that, during the pandemic, a lot of people shift on, online. Now, some of those people are returning back to their offices. So that's a cut down in participation. So Zoom right now, let's just go over the levels. Let me just open the chart, right? And it was a stock that ran a lot in the pandemic. I mean, there was a huge spike. People made a lot of money. People that managed, congrats, right? There was a huge spike, all the way from $69 in 2020 all the way towards 560, right? I mean, 1,000% return within 1 year on equity alone. That's insane, right? Then they tried, and then obviously last year, in 2020, then from this year, the lockdowns started going away, and the stock was just too high, and the earnings are not impressive. They're selling off this to earnings, and I think if somebody's in Zoom long equity, just watch your positions, because this thing can definitely see all the way towards these levels, and believe it will happen. I mean, things like happen. We've seen it with many stocks. All these levels are possible on Zoom. All right, 100 and even lower. But for now, it needs to hold above this 210 area, 208. It needs to basically hold where it's opening and reverse back here if anything. But don't expect this stock to make a big move up unless they announce something which is going to bring a lot of users back, right? But for now, I mean, their outlook is no good, and just avoid this stock for now until it settles. I think if you're trying to play options on this, there are many other opportunities in the market. Personally, I will just play this to the downside, right? I'll just play spreads to the downside. It's in a nice little downtrend, and just collect premium. That's what I would do on Zoom. Right, so Zoom, nothing impressive. Best Buy, another stock with earnings, which had a crazy run, during the pandemic, and it ran a lot. And the last few weeks, it was running a lot. And yesterday, clear topping pattern candle, right? I didn't actually look into this. If I knew they had earnings, I probably would have put on this name, right? Nice little action broke out. The only thing here is them also, they beat their earnings per share and revenue. That's fine, but their demand is going to be weaker in the coming months, right? Which is not good. Rising shipping costs, that's another concern. And the demand for electronics is now getting weaker for them. The reason being, during the pandemic when there were lockdowns, obviously, demand for electronics was high. People wanted to buy devices and whatnot. But as we're reopened, the demand has gone down, and plus shipping costs and whatnot is going to hurt them. It's down a lot. Pre-market is basically gave up all these gains that it made, right, from where it broke out. The first support level I see is all the way towards 100, the 103 area. See how it holds here. If it fails to break 103, then we do have a support level all the way towards 88. So if I was to play Best Buy, I would simply set my alert near $90. 88, I'll try for a $3-4 bounce play, and then that would be a trade for me. But here it's going to be very hard. Maybe they recover it today, maybe they flush it more. I have no idea. But the outlook is no good, and I would just avoid or wait for 88 for a solid $2-3 bounce and make that as my trade. XPEV, the EV automaker, their earnings were good, a lot of growth, right? They're up pre-market. The only thing I'll say is on this breakout, they need to hold above this zone right here. They need to hold above 50. If this name can hold above 50, so let me just remove my drawing, I'll just write this down. If this name can hold above 50, if it can hold above 50, we see higher. 50 is the key number on this name, right? It went up, it's holding above. The best thing about this name is that it's holding above this zone right here. It's holding above this zone, which is very good. This is a lot of strength on its own, and now if it holds above this zone right here, above 50, then we likely see a move all the way towards right here, 58 level. All right, so 50 is the must hold for XPV, and let's see what happens. But make sure if the entire market is weak and then none of these levels matter, then the stocks are going to go down. So you have to be very careful this week. Personally, I'm just holding majority cash. I'm not buying longer positions, nothing. I'm just simply going to wait until there's a setup and then enter. So a lot of patience for me. And if we break certain levels, then I might jump on the puts as well, right? And some tickers that I want to cover are Dkng, right? A learning experience for many of you guys. So here we have a nice little big dip. People thought this would be support, right? But one thing that we teach you in my stock life is let the stock hold certain levels. Throughout this entire thing, there was a level given to you guys, if you remember, a hold above 50 it should have been, or 51, I believe, right? It was not able to hold above it. So why played? It was, some people probably thought this is a base, it's going to reverse, this is going to happen, but it was not able to break out of the box. It was not able to hold above the levels. What happened? It gave up. Same thing here now. A lot of you guys are going to try playing the bounce at 35. I do believe Dkng bounces from it. Trust me. It can bounce hard just like this area right here, like a nice V-shaped recovery, right? The same thing can happen here. But personally, I want to see this level hold. If it can hold longer for a few more days, and then we see it trying to take out 37, 38, maybe I will scale into my first position by buying time. I will probably buy 3 to 4 months out on Dkng, right? I'm not looking for the trade same week bang options from 50 cents to $5. It happens, but I'm not gonna look for that. Buy 3-4 months of time in case if it fails and it holds above this low, you can simply sell those for minor loss and still keep your position. So sometimes you have to look for a downside before you buy. Because the next support on Dkng technically is all the way right here, which is the $31 level, and then we have all the way towards right here, 28. Right? Let me show you guys one chart, right? Something similar. See how it went all the way to 75, 79, and then they did end up coming down to 20. I'm not saying now Dkng ride a totally different industries, but I'm speaking. Anything is possible in the market. Don't be surprised tomorrow if you see Dkng in 20s. Some of you guys will go, oh, really? Yes, it's possible. Right? Look at Jumia for itself. $68 and $70 stock this year alone, and right now it's trading at 12, almost near single digits. All right, and I think it's a great company, and yet they're selling this stock off. So Dkng, if you guys are buying leads, putting money in these stocks, I think they're great, but just be careful buying them. There's not enough historical data on these, on the technicals charts to play this name. All right. So just be careful with these names. Then we have Disney. Same thing, right? If we end up, I know a lot of you guys like playing Disney to the upside, so do I. I love Disney, but again, support, if we fail to break this, we likely see towards 135, right? That's another 20 points down. Believe these downside levels, that will help you with your position sizing. It will help you go in with the size that you can afford to lose. That's options trading. Or simply just wait until it takes bases on this zone and shows upside, and we see a stronger market, and then you can play this to the upside. But technically the number that's required is 160. Tesla, great news across the board, almost every day. But Tesla, I drew this pattern, right? And I think I'm going to be point on this pattern. I could be wrong, but I think something like this is going to happen on Tesla. It just makes, based on my experience, everything I've seen in my life in the last 10 years, all the technicals I've done, Tesla is likely to do something like this. That's what I believe is going to happen. I could be completely wrong, but so Tesla here, I will simply sell bear spread if I need to. But right now, I'm still staying on cash given the market circumstances, so I'm not rushing into anything. All right. And 1150 plus is a very hard hold on Tesla. I know it's above 1150, but I'm just gonna say one thing: 1150 is very hard. It may hold today, it may hold tomorrow, but if it gives up 1150, it's gonna go much lower. It's probably gonna come test 1000, 1100, and then all the way towards $1,000 level basically. Above 1200 hold, we likely see upside. If you're playing between 1150 and 1200, it's gonna be very tough. It's very hard to choose a direction unless you go into details, into technicals, like Platinum Sachs does in the group, right? So Tesla, if you're playing, if you're scalping, be disciplined with your stop losses, in my opinion. But that's where it is. So Tesla yesterday made a topping candle. We likely see lower today, or maybe we hold, and then we see 1150, 1120, 1100 in the coming days. And if the market gives up gains again today and we flush, this is going to be 1100 very fast, in my opinion. But pre-market is holding great. Amazon, it's possible this is a retest of a breakout. But if it holds lower than yesterday, we likely see down all the way towards right here, which is $34.80 level. So don't be surprised if you see $34.80 or this zone on Amazon. Is very possible. It can happen, right? However, if we hold above these levels, if we hold above this box right here, or the box breakout, and if we hold above these levels or somewhere right here, and we build a base here, then we likely see much higher on Amazon. All right. The market is a little weak right now. It's a little toppy action. If the market holds, right, even if it just holds and Amazon puts in its own price action, this thing can run. All right, but it's going to be very hard. Amazon needs 3680 and then above 3700 hold. But right now it's way below, right? So it's 100 points down. Apple, There's nothing, people that believe in candles, there's nothing more bearish than this candle right here. And I do have some comments which are written here, right? Possible retest of 157. So I'm gonna give you guys a play on Apple right now if this happens. Just keep this on your radars, okay? I don't believe in a long, like the market is gonna flush for the coming weeks. I don't believe in that right now until the levels are broken. For now, I just believe that there's gonna be a dip. We base and we likely continue a little bit higher, or base at least. If Apple gives you a retest of 157, which is should be roughly right here. If it gives us a retest of this, so another red day, and then we base here, and then we take out 160, we likely see all-time highs again. But this trade has to come to you. You cannot chase it. You try chasing it, Apple will slap you in the face. All right, it'll take away the money for your iPhone for the next iPhone. So Apple just wait. This is a very bearish candle. It's not good, right? Went to all-time highs and then they slapped it right below the opening price. Okay, so a lot of selling about 160. However, if this scenario plays out as a trade, possible retest of 157, and then we take a 160 once again, we likely see 170, 180. So you have to be very strategic with this one. Google, I think is a great short candidate. Now, some of you guys in the group, I know, even though we said just stay on cash, some were aggressive buying calls, long on tech. Just be careful. The premiums are jacked, and if this happens to the top, all this premium is going to go down very fast. And if the market maker realizes that these stocks are not about to move or they're going to consolidate, they're going to kill the premium on these calls so fast you won't believe it, right? Google gave the gains of the last 5 days in 1 day, 6 days, in one single day. All right. So be careful. A lot of weakness here. This is a very big weakness on Google, right? This is very weak. So 3,000 is very, very hard on Google. The day it holds above 3,000, we likely see 3,200, 3,400. That's number one. And then, or a bounce near 2,600 is what I'm looking for. All right, 2,600, 2,550 on Google. In between, choosing a direction will be very hard. But if I was to play Google here, I'd probably play to the downside myself. Buy some downside spreads and just hold it. Right, so that's how I would play Google myself. Airbnb, just some requests coming in now. Build the gap. The market is weak overall, right? Well, it's actually doing what we thought it would do here, I guess. But Airbnb, it just needs to hold above this level right here. That's all I can say. It has to hold above this breakout, right? So above 175 is a must hold. It bounced off the 50 DMA, but the number 175 is a must hold. 175 must hold and build base. All right, if the market is strong and we continue holding 175 and we see reversal signals, this can see all-time highs again. Otherwise, if 175 breaks, then we have all the way towards 165 and then the support levels below. MDB, one of the great longs, right? It's like a retirement stock in my opinion. Again, at the 50 DMA, hard sell-off yesterday, sold off a lot, and I probably personally would pick up this stock right here if I was to pick the upside, which is 394. So it's about $115 up from here. To the upside, if it can hold above 525-ish, so a big level down to the downside, guys. And trust me, this happens fast when it happens. To the upside, we have 525 as must hold on MDB. And in between, it's going to be very hard to choose a direction. Personally, if I was to play this name right now, I'd play puts on it. If it fails the 50 DMA, then I can probably catch a $20, $30 move to the downside. This sector has been very weak lately, right? 230 plus is a must. It broke down. We're testing this hard support level right here. If we hold this support, it's going to take some time to build. If not, then we have all the way towards this zone right here, which is 176. And trust me, this is possible. If we fail to break this area, it's a straight run towards 170, 180 area. And around this area right here, 180 is where I will probably play for a $5, $6 bounce just as a trade. Long term, yes, I love Visa, but short term, if you're trading options, you better be on the right side or else the chart is no good right now. It just needs to hold about 195, break a 195, we have the zone all the way towards 180, right? Financials also XLF. We're gonna go over this. It's retesting here. It's retesting. Now if financial, I'll just give you guys a hint. If it breaks above these levels right here, XLF, if we break 40, 50, and through 41, I'd play financials to upside. How likely is this? I have no idea. And you have to be very careful of this. If it does break 40, 50 and through 41, you want to scale in first and then we see what happens. IWM, a lot of you guys went long. It was a great entry. I loved it, but I did not enter simply because I want the retest to hold. I just don't want to enter on a retest. I want the retest to hold on IWM because they can easily poke this thing above all-time highs, get all the longs stuck here, and bring this back all the way towards 220 and even retest this 210 one more time and then maybe reverse back up. It's just a possibility, that's all I'm saying. However, on the retest, if we take out 234, 235 again, we see some strength and we see the other indices stronger, then I may play IWM to the long side like I wanted to add it. But for now, I'm just going to be very patient, trade less trades, more chances of being right, as simple as that. In this market, just be careful, whatever you're buying, playing, don't end up catching the dip that keeps on dipping. That's it. See you guys back in the chat. God bless. And Pankaj, I'll do for locker in the premium chat. Thank you.